Welcome to the Fantasy Beer League podcast. We just finished our 8-team Punishment League draft. With me is first overall pick Justin Giel, a.k.a. Mr. Passion Fruit himself. With his first 4 picks, he took Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs, George Kittle, and Allen Robinson, too. Justin, how do you feel about your draft this year?
I like it. I like the team. Obviously, having McCaffrey's big. Having the first overall pick, if you don't take him, you're kind of an idiot.
Yeah. Do you feel like there were any players who fell to you or you might have reached for a little bit? Like any guys you felt like you took a little too early, could have waited, or any guys you felt fell and you really liked the value that you got with their pick?
I was kind of thinking during the draft, taking Dak in the 7th round. I felt like I might have reached for him by a round or two, but I don't really think there was anybody else that was kind of a standout like reach or kind of fell into my hands.
Well, looking at the draft board, I actually really like the value you got for Dak Prescott. He was the 5th quarterback off the board in an 8-team league, and I rank him as quarterback 3. So I feel like getting Dak Prescott in the 7th round of an 8-team league is very good value. And I really like the other guys you got. The wide receivers are pretty stacked with Allen Robinson, OBJ, and Brown. Which Brown did you get?
I got AJ.
AJ, okay. That's who I thought you had, but I wanted to make sure. So, yeah, I like AJ Brown.
Yeah, there's like 12 Browns in the league.
Yeah, I know. But I like those guys. How do you feel about the drinks that you had tonight while drafting?
Sure. So I only had the one. Lil Cal Pale Ale from Source Brewing up in Colts Neck. 4.4% and super tasty, kind of a West Coast style. Easy drinking. I'm very much a fan of it.
That's good to be level-headed during a draft.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's say this doesn't work out for you and you're subject to punishment. What punishment are you most weary of having to do this season?
That fucking hot dog water.
Oh, the hot dog water.
I can't escape it.
Yeah.
Every time you make hot dogs, you send me a picture of the water. I can run, but I can't hide. Yeah. That's what I'm least looking forward to.
It's coming for you. I hope you get that hot dog water punishment.
Hot dog water.
Hot dog, yeah. Well, I had 4 drinks myself, so good luck to you.
Thanks, buddy.
I hope you have to drink hot dog water.
Alrighty. I appreciate that.
But aside from that, I wish you the best of luck. And thank you for subjecting yourself to torture.
Of course, can't wait.
I had the 2nd overall pick, and with my first pick, I took Saquon Barkley. Then I took Travis Kelce, Chris Godwin, and Lamar Jackson. I usually like to wait on quarterback, but in the 4th round, I felt like the value was too rich for me to not take Lamar Jackson. So I feel like I have a top 2 player at 3 of the main positions in fantasy football. Barkley, I feel, is a top 2 running back. Kelce, I think, is the number 1 tight end. And Lamar Jackson, I feel, is the number 1 quarterback. I built depth from there on, ended up with Chris Carson, David Johnson, Cooper Kupp, all guys I really like as wide receiver 2s, running back 2s. I drank 2 delicious beers tonight. One was from Alaska. It was called Turned by Anchorage. I got that from Tavor, my preferred sponsor number 1. So Tavor, if you end up watching this somehow, I love you and I need you in my life. I could not do this without you. And my second beer was from another one of my favorite breweries, Dewey, down in Delaware. It was a beer called Thrills, brewed with pineapple and marshmallow, and it just tastes like orange juice, pineapple juice. It is goddamn delicious. The only punishment I am not looking forward to doing, because I'm kind of a masochist and don't mind being punished, Vince, you can do it that way. You will if you want to throw something on there like disgusting and vulgar. I'm okay with that. But I do not want to call any of my ex-girlfriends because I'm a pussy and they all hate me. So good luck to me. And next I will be interviewing Sober Shawn, the Shawn who is not me and does not drink. All right, Shawn.
Howdy.
You're in here with me today due to the Montgomery Clause. With your first 4 picks, you selected Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper, and Zach Ertz. Are you by any chance a Packers fan?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you're a Packers fan. Okay. So how do you feel about your draft?
I feel really good about my draft. The first pick being Aaron Jones. Some people would say Zeke is better, but to me, Aaron Jones is a touchdown machine. 18 touchdowns last year.
It was a bit of a surprise. I'm not sure I would have gone that way, but what do I know? So do you feel that there was anybody you reached for it or anybody that may have fallen to you throughout the draft?
I wouldn't say that I really reached for too many people. Quarterbacks kind of fell. So, I mean, I took Breeze in, what is that, like the 10th round?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Drew Brees in the 11th round.
11th round.
Yep.
And I feel like they all kind of fell into place about where I thought they would.
So you're not much of a drinker. You don't drink at all.
No.
You're very straight edge, which I respect, and would never ask you to do any of those types of punishments that involve you subjecting yourself to the lifestyle that I lead. But are there any punishments that you are refusing to do, not looking forward to doing?
There's two really that stand out. Fuck the Barch smoothie.
Oh, the Barch smoothie. For those of you that don't know, Ben Barch was an offensive lineman at the Combine. Every morning to gain weight, he would drink a smoothie that consisted of bananas, peanut butter, cottage cheese, Gatorade, and a few other disgusting things. So you're out on that one, it sounds
fuck
like.
that. Fuck that. And I hate bananas, so I'm not eating the rind of a goddamn banana.
Full banana, rind on. All right, Shawn. Well, thank you again for doing this with us. Another thing for our viewers to understand is that because Shawn doesn't drink and because Shawn was sort of forced into this last minute, I and other members of the league might be taking on some of these punishments. So you might get to see us do some more ridiculous shit than we would normally have to do. Again, he took Aaron Jones with the 3rd overall pick.
Hey, let me be clear. The last time I won your league a couple years ago, I had like 4 or 5 Packers.
Yeah.
And Devontae's team was stacked. He should have won the league by far. But the Packers kicked the shit out of the Vikings. Fuck the Vikings.
They did.
And I won the league.
Well,
So
if the Packers are good, your team will be good. That's pretty much the metric for every season.
only 2 there this time.
Well, the 2 big ones. So. All right, and Shawn, lastly here, what were you drinking tonight?
I had Gatorade.
What flavor?
Lemon lime.
Is that your number one?
That's my number 1 Gatorade flavor.
Okay.
And then I had some water.
Ooh, water.
I did take a sip of your, what was it, Thriller or whatever?
Thrills.
There you go. That was not bad. It was one of them sour ones. Tastes like orange juice. It's actually pretty okay.
Now, was your lemon lime Gatorade artisanally crafted? Was it dry hopped or double dry hopped?
I think it was made on a football field in Florida, college football field actually.
Oh, okay.
They made it for the football team.
For the Gators.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So.
alligator bits. Sounds delicious. That should be a punishment. Drink alligator. All right. Thanks, Shawn, and good luck.
Thanks, Mom.
Up next is our resident fantasy football expert, Matt Sonny.
I took my picture today at school and they had to raise the camera. It took like forever.
You had school pictures today?
I did.
That's hilarious. All right, Sonny. Well, you had the 4th overall pick in our draft, and with your first pick, you took Michael Thomas. On the way back in the next 2 subsequent rounds, you took Nick Chubb, Kenyon Drake, and Mike Evans. How'd you feel about this draft? What did you do to prepare, and how do you feel you executed on that preparation?
So my preparation was basically when the timer started on my first pick. That was basically when I started thinking about who to choose. I feel pretty good because, as you know, people have seen in previous years, I really don't think too much about my backups. I fill out my roster right away. So, I mean, I filled out my receiving core pretty early on. I took a quarterback maybe a little bit earlier than most people do. But as always, you know, first to pick a defense, first to pick a kicker. Mm-hmm. Again, I just care about my starters, you know, get me the points that I need.
Yeah, the guaranteed points. That's what you kept saying during the draft. Well, I think that Deshaun Watson in the 5th round is a fine play, and Darren Waller in the 6th, Waller the baller, I like him as a tight end. Do you feel like there were any players who fell to you during this draft? Any players that you didn't think you were going to get that sort of showed up and you just couldn't resist taking them?
Well, I was really concerned. There was one player that, you know, I was trying to see when I could get him, and I thought maybe somebody was just going to be an asshole and take him. But, you know, I went up, was looking through the cards, and could not find Frank Gore. So I guess he's, you know, wasn't high enough in the depth chart. But
the write-in ballot.
Yeah, that wasn't going to stop me.
Right.
So, you know, got to have my man Frank. He's obviously the best player on the Jets.
Best player on the Jets.
Yeah.
High praise. I think he was the 3rd or 4th Jet taken, but I mean, that'd be a steal if he ends up being the number 1 player on an Adam Gase offense. What were you drinking tonight, Sonny?
I was drinking the Angry Orchard Green Apple, which is the best of the Angry Orchard flavors.
An interesting decision. The green apple is the best. I've never heard anybody call green apple.
No, that's just even if I'm getting an apple, I'll take a green apple over anything else.
I mean, I'd rather a Granny Smith than a Red Delicious.
Yeah, I just like the sour.
All right, Sonny. Well, are there any punishments that you're absolutely dreading having to do this season?
Well, I don't know that I would call an ex-girlfriend, man. First off, if somebody got to choose like the ex-girlfriend rather than me choosing it, I think it makes it a lot harder on me. But I've burned a lot of bridges with women over my lifetime, so I don't know that I could do that.
Well, good luck to you. I hope that Frank Gore pans out. I hope you don't have to call any ex-girlfriends. And thank you for subjecting yourself to ridiculous punishments. I know that you're in a lifelong career that doesn't really allow you to do that type of thing, but thank you for sacrificing for the team.
Yep, that's what I do.
All right. You're a good man. Joining me next is Vince's brother, our producer's younger brother, Daniel.
All right.
All right, Danny, you picked 5th overall in our draft, and with your first pick, you took Zeke Elliott, followed by Kamara, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Keenan Allen. A little surprising that Kamara fell all the way to the 2nd round. Do you feel good about this draft, poor about this draft, okay about this draft?
I feel pretty good. I mean, as you mentioned, 5th pick. I got Elliott at the 5th, and I got Kamara on the backswing. So I got 2 solid RB1s. I mean, I know there's talk about Kamara being traded from the Saints, but I think wherever he lands, he contends for the RB1 spot. So I feel real confident about the first 2 for sure.
So you feel like, looking at the draft board personally, I feel like a lot of the talent fell to you. Like you were in a position where, you're not expecting to get a guy like Zeke Elliott. You're not expecting to get Alvin Kamara. Do you feel that players fell in this draft and you picked them up at a better ADP than they're normally going at? Do you feel like you reached for anybody maybe?
I think a couple of pretty solid players fell to me. I mean, I know Mark Andrews came to me in the 7th, I think. He was the last tight end on the board that I was willing to take before probably about the 10th round. He was really one of the only real valuable guys left. So that one definitely kind of just dropped into my lap. I mean, I got Edelman in the 10th round as well. I still like him. I know he's aged and he's running with Cam Newton in the new offense, but I still think he's got a lot of value there as a wide receiver 1.
Yeah, I personally love the Edelman pick. One pick that I'm a little bit questionable about is Aaron Rodgers. He's the only quarterback on your team, and you took him in the 9th round. What about Rodgers do you like? I feel like he's a bit on the decline. I feel like the Packers' offense is more of a rushing team and a defensive team than it is a passing team that it was in years prior. Do you feel like that's going to change? What do you like about Aaron Rodgers?
Well, when it came to that point, there weren't a whole lot of quarterbacks that I really, really liked left. I mean, we had Josh Allen still sitting there. We had Matt Ryan. I actually have Josh Allen in another league, so I wanted to change it up at the quarterback spot. And I've had Matt Ryan 2 years running in different leagues, and he just didn't really stand out to me as the guy that could get it done at the quarterback 1 spot. Rodgers has been solid for the past couple of years. I mean, we have a Packers fan in the room who can vouch for that. I think I liked him. I think it felt good.
All right, fair enough. It's your team. It's your guy. I hope it works out for you. What were you drinking tonight while we enjoyed this draft together?
I actually got it here. I can show the camera. I got a Sour Pasture Calves. It's from Bolero Snort down by the Meadowlands in South Jersey. It's absolutely delicious. It's a sour. I got the wild cherry and grape flavor here. It's really good.
Solid. And what punishment are you least looking forward to having to do should you draw it?
Definitely a shoey. I don't want to drink anything out of someone's shoe, any shoe, and knowing there's this group of people here, it's going to be a nice, nasty, sweaty shoe.
Oh, yeah.
So, not excited for that.
And I have some nasty fucking feet, so God forbid for you, I have the number 1 pick. You are drinking out of one of my running shoes. Well, thank you for subjecting yourself to such torture, and I wish you the best of luck. And again, that beer was delicious. I can vouch for Bolero Snort. I really enjoyed that brew myself. Next up, we're going to have Vince, the frickin' Hexagon, our producer, with his first on-time screen where he's not being iced.
What's up, buddy?
All right, Vince. You picked 6th in our draft with your first pick. You took Dalvin Cook, followed by DeAndre Hopkins, Adam Thielen, and Patrick Mahomes. First quarterback taken in our draft. How do you feel about taking Mahomes in the 4th round?
I feel good about it. I wanted to get a good quarterback because it's one of the things I like having as a good quarterback in my league. Last year, I had Wilson as my quarterback, and he produced for me really well. I even had Brady at one point, and he produced really well. But seeing as how Mahomes did last year, I was looking to have that, especially with the fact that I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to drafting. So I was like, let's pick guys I know the names of.
Right. Well, how do you feel in the subsequent rounds? After the 4th round, you got running backs like Le'Veon Bell, Mark Ingram, Devin Singletary, guys who were really good last year, or Bell, struggled last year, but guys who have been really good previously in their careers who are kind of iffy this year, either because of new acquisitions in the offseason or just an unsure amount of volume that they're going to get. How do you feel about your running back depth after Dalvin Cook?
Honestly, I like Ingram a lot. He produced for me really well last year, even like in the later weeks that I thought he wasn't going to. So I like him a lot. I also like, what else we got here? I picked up Mattinson later on because it's a handcuff just in case Dalvin Cook does go down. He went down last year, and having that handcuff pick is nice to have that security.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with the contract disputes in Minnesota. I definitely think that if you draft Dalvin Cook, you have to reach a little bit to get Alexander Madison. And should you have both of those guys, you've secured the running back number 1 in Minnesota. So I like that you did that. I think that's an excellent way to draft. Were there any players that you felt fell to you? Anybody you think you might have reached for throughout the draft?
Ooh.
Nice little fart noise. There.
Nice little fart noise. I don't. To be honest with you, I'm not really sure.
Okay, that's fair enough. Looking at it, I felt like you reached a little bit for Austin Hooper. I know he was fantastic last year, but this year in a new offense, I just feel like there are too many mouths to feed. But even still, I mean, looking at the whole entire draft board, there's still plenty of tight end depth. It's only an 8-team league, so if it doesn't work out, I think there are plenty of options on the free agency wire. Overall, I think you had a pretty decent draft for somebody who doesn't prepare that much and doesn't know that much about drafting for fantasy.
Yeah.
So what were you drinking tonight while we draft?
I was having mostly water, but I did try some of that Bolero Snort that Daniel had, and even though I'm not really a beer guy, I really enjoyed that one. What was the other thing you had me try?
Thrills by Dewey.
That was amazing. I would actually drink that like any day of the week.
It tastes like juice, right?
100%.
Yeah, delicious. All right, Vince. So last question I'm going to ask you. What punishment are you least looking forward to having to do should you come in last?
It's got to be either that milkshake or the hot dog water, one of the two.
Well, the Ben Barch smoothie or the hot dog
the smoothie.
water.
That's what. Yeah. They both sound disgusting.
Yeah, a lot of nasty stuff that we're going to be ingesting. Well, thank you for subjecting yourself. Thank you for producing our podcast. Everything you do every week for us. We know it's a lot of work. We know you don't get a lot of love on screen, but you are the heart and soul of our podcast. Truly, I appreciate you more than words can say. And thank you again for being willing to subject yourself to punishment on top of all of that work.
Absolutely, dude. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. Next up, we're dealing with my good friend, Alex, the Seltzer God, a.k.a. SGA, picking 7th in the draft.
What's up?
Alex, you picked 7th. You took Clyde Edwards-Helaire with your first pick, followed by Julio Jones, Miles Sanders, and DJ Moore. How do you feel about your draft overall?
I liked it. I feel like a lot of players fell to me. Sanders was one of them. I was definitely eyeing out. Nobody really wanted to take him, which I understand.
Yeah, fell all the way to 3rd round.
Yeah, so I was happy with that. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I have high expectations for. I like the Andy Reid running backs. Every year they always produce. So I'm all good with that. And Julio, I think he's always a baller.
Rock solid.
Yeah, I really hope that this year he starts getting touchdowns. That's the only thing he's lacking these last couple of years. So
yeah. Are there any players you're nervous about? I see that you've taken Evan Ingram, who's a bit of a high-risk, high-reward type of guy
For sure.
with the injury. And a guy, like Marvin Jones Jr., Darius Slayton, who are a little boom bust in their careers so far.
Yeah, I would say even Mixon. Mixon has great value, but I'm a little worried about that. I don't trust that team's offensive line that much. And they play from behind a lot, which is going to take away from some of his carries.
Yeah.
So, but for his value, I like it, but I'm a little worried about Mixon. And Ingram, definitely for sure. He's definitely a good tight end, one of the best in the league, but those soft hamstrings of his, they don't do well. So I'm definitely worried about that.
Understood. Me personally, I love the value you got for Mixon. Taking him as your 3rd running back, I think, is a great value pick. And even Evan Ingram, I mean, if he can stay healthy, I think he's one of the best tight ends in the league. And if it doesn't work out for you, like I was saying before, there's still a ton of tight end depth on the free agent wire based on the way this draft went. What were you drinking tonight while you drafted with us?
So, given the nickname that you gave me,
The Seltzer God.
Seltzer God. I gotta stay with it. So I'm a Seltzers guy. I got some High Noon. I don't know if the camera can see it, but it's all right. High Noons. It's made with vodka and real juice. Unlike White Claw, a lot of people think White Claw is made with vodka. It's actually made with malt liquor.
Okay.
So it's that foamy shit on beer. Leaves me a little bloated. I'm not really a big White Claw guy, but I'm a High Nooner.
He's a nooner. Alex the Seltzer God, you heard it here first. He's a nooner. So what punishment of the punishments that you're aware of?
Yeah, I don't know too many, honestly.
What punishment are you fearing the most?
Definitely shaving the head. I'm probably gonna bail on that. Not that I have the best hair in the world, but I don't think I could.
You got some curly locks.
Yeah.
You got like a dark Mahomes type of look.
Yeah, I don't know if I could pull that off. Give me a couple other bad punishments, and I'll tell you if I.
Oh well, see the biting into the onion. I think you have to eat a whole raw onion.
I really like onions. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, really good for you too.
A beer mile. I think you'd probably like that.
That's fine.
Yeah. Let's see. The Barch smoothie, I think, is a bad one. That's a lot of shit put in a blender together.
Yeah.
Calling an X, I'm really against.
Yeah, I don't know about that one either.
Well, see, you're just a hard man to break.
Yeah.
All those seltzers toughen you up.
Yeah, I just think the hair one is definitely the one I'm out on.
The hair one. All right. Well, I mean, that's fair enough. You got the locks. I can respect that.
Thanks, dude.
All right. Well, thank you for doing this, Alex. I appreciate you. And I wish you the best of luck with your squad. I think you have one of the better teams in the league. So, unfortunately, I think you're going to do really well, and I won't get to see you shave your head. But if I can, I'd be happy to see that.
We'll see, man.
All
Thank
right.
you.
And finally, last but not least, we're going to meet with the Forehead Man, Andy Daniels. All right, Andy. I'm sorry for calling you Mr. Forehead, but that's your name in this
dude,
league.
you guys just look at it.
Andy picked 8th in our league, and with the back-to-back turn of the snake draft, he took Derrick Henry and Tyreek Hill. And in the next snake, he took Austin Eckler and Kenny Galladay. A pretty solid start, I must say. How do you feel about your draft, Andy?
I think it went pretty well. I like my first 4 picks, so I mean I'm happy with them. I think that Austin Eckler will do well with Melvin Gordon now gone from the Chargers there, so he's going to get that volume of carries, and Galladay's catching passes from Stafford, so.
Yeah, with Stafford back, I definitely think Galladay has added value. I mean, he's good enough without Stafford there, but with Stafford's return, if he can play a full season, I definitely like Kenny Galladay's value in the 4th round. Were there any players that you felt fell to you? Anybody you think you reached for?
Melvin Gordon. Honestly, I mean, 7th round. I kind of like that pick there. I mean, yeah, it's a new team for him, but you know what? He's not held out like last year, and I picked him up last year and hated him for that. So.
I also really like you taking Antonio Gibson. That's one of my favorite sleepers this year.
Yeah.
And I really like the pick of Cam Newton in the 15th round. You already have Russell Wilson, so I don't expect him to start. But in the event that Russell Wilson gets hurt or hits a wall or something like that.
Russell Wilson's been known to do that. Sometimes he gets like a few games there where he just doesn't produce points, and I hope that Cam Newton can pick me back up.
I definitely view Cam Newton as a top 10 running back with the rushing this season and the Patriots offense. I think Belichick will maximize his potential.
Yeah.
What were you drinking while we drafted tonight?
I was just drinking the single silo series Ultra Cashmere from Source. Gotta go to Source.
Yeah.
Always check out Source.
Source is good stuff. I've had a lot of good stuff from Source, and we're local Jersey boys. For those that do not know, Source is one of the better breweries that we have in our state. Now, Andy, you know this is a punishment league, and I think I know what your answer is just by looking at you.
Well,
What punishment are you most fearful of doing?
I don't want to shave my head.
Okay, that's what I figured.
No, I don't. But as a sleeper, one that I kind of was looking through the list that I really don't want to do now is the gallon of eggnog.
Oh, a gallon of eggnog.
Because I'm almost positive that I'll throw up.
Oh, you will.
Because
that's pretty much the point of it.
Yeah, because I drink about a glass of eggnog each year, and that's it. So full gallon's a lot. I don't know.
It is. Last year for shits and giggles, the Seltzer Guide and I drank a half gallon of eggnog to see who could finish it faster, and I beat him by a long shot. It wasn't close, but it was rough. I think both of our stomachs were screaming for like the rest of the day. So
yeah, so
I really want to see you do it because you're like half the size of me. And I don't think eggnog goes to the forehead, so I don't think there's anywhere for you to store it.
Probably won't, but...
So, good luck to you, Andy. Thank you for subjecting yourself to punishment.
I do it every day.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you doing it. Words cannot express. Thank you, everybody, for watching this special edition of our podcast, our draft recap. And good luck to all of our fantasy league mates. I hope all of them lose except for me and have to do a lot of stupid shit that you can enjoy as the audience. We'll be back next week for our week 1 preview, and following that episode, you can see every single punishment. As always, please follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FantasyBeerLG. Those are the words fantasy, beer, and the letters LG. Vince is looking like something is wrong, but hopefully that doesn't apply to you. Thanks again. Tune in next week. We love you.